Welcome back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. Well, it finally happened. We had our first frost. In fact, we've had a couple of frosts since I took that footage, and it's time for me to get down in the garden now and finally clean it out, and more importantly, plant my garlic. Now, I waited a couple of days to get a sunny day. It's not very warm. It's about 4 degrees today. But with the sun shining, it's really not that bad. So today is the final garden day, the garlic planting day, and the pumpkins, well, I already harvested them. I promised I would take you along on the pumpkin hunt. Unfortunately, in order to pull them out in time for them to ripen to carve for Halloween, I had to harvest them several days ago, actually a week and a half ago, and it was raining, so I couldn't bring the camera out. So in the end, we did get a surprising pumpkin crop. Let me show you. In total, we got 17 pumpkins. Can you believe that? Now, some of them are the blue pumpkins. These ones here, 1, 2, 3, and I think 1 down there, and 2 over here. So that's 6 blue pumpkins. But they're not turning blue. This one here is interesting. It kind of looks like it's almost turning blue. It's got this sort of mottled appearance. But the others, well, they still look like they're green. And the white on them here is not mold or anything. It's from the frost last night. It's a little bit of snow, I guess. Beautiful little snowflakes. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now the others are just ordinary jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. We've got some strange shapes going on here. Some smaller ones, but I'd say, well, that's the biggest one over there. I think we've got enough to at least do our family pumpkin carving contest, which we have to do quickly. Today is Halloween. I'm going to take some of the pumpkins inside so they warm up because they're probably frozen. So they can warm up before we carve them. But first I have to do these trellises, and then I have to plant my garlic. There, the gardens are well and truly empty now. But even though I've taken down most of the plants, nature is amazing. The garden still wants to grow. Let me show you. Here in bed number 1 was where I had the dill and the parsley. But just look at what's happening in the garden. It is just covered with plants. Now I'm assuming these are dill. I'll know in the spring. I'll know if they even survive the winter. But just look at how the plants have seeded themselves. And over here is where I had lettuce and I let it go to seed. And as usual, I didn't pick it in time. So you can see I've put some cloches on top of the ones that have sprouted. Let's see how they're doing under here. They're doing great. That one and that cloche are the leftover seeds I had after picking the seeds off. So let's see how that one's doing. Here under their nice warm cloche, you can see the seeds have sprouted. They're a bit behind the other ones, which is great because that sort of staggers the crop. But look at the moisture. Just from the sun, even though it's going down to -2 overnight, this lettuce is quite happy. And this lettuce is going to give us some salad very soon. Even the ones outside the cloche are doing okay. Now, I don't tend to garden in the winter. I know a lot of people are talking about their winter garden and how they can sow some more crops. I don't for 2 reasons. One is, here in Zone 5B, Southern Ontario, the winters really are too cold. I might get another small crop on the fall shoulder season, but it's really not worth it. And the second reason is the garden needs a rest, and so do I. Gardening is hard work, and although I love it, it takes up a lot of my time and a lot of my day. The garden too needs a bit of a rest. The soil needs to rest. The plants need to rest. So my garden sleeps through the winter now. You could see with the lettuce, it's going to continue growing. And that dill, I'm going to be interested to see if it survives the winter like the lettuce does. Maybe I have a winter hardy dill as well as a winter hardy lettuce. But for the most part, I'm just going to let it sleep. Now, I am going to plant the garlic right now. That's my last chore for today because the garlic needs the extra time. But other than that, I'm done gardening for the season. Well, there you go. The garlic's all tucked in with its little blanket of dirt over top. The lettuce is growing under its cloches, and the rest of the garden is going to take a break. And so am I. Bye for now.